Hi boys, it's my duty today to tell you about this game called BeGone, or as some people like to say, BeGone. It's kind of weird how the pronunciation varies from person to person. Like, you've got those people that say Arcade Fire, and then you have those that say Arcade Fire. That's beside the point though. I really just want to use today to tell you about the general concept of this game. It's completely free to play, plays in your browser. Although I do believe you have to install this thing called Unity Player, but it's not like you have to go to me to know that. It's pretty obvious. Before you play the game for the first time on the screen, it just says Unity Player, install now. And you have to go through all that. But once you've got that downloaded, it doesn't do anything to your computer. All it does is carry out the sole purpose of letting you play the game. Alright, so my general opinion about this game, it's I like it. I mean, I wouldn't be spending so much time talking about it, much less playing it, if I didn't at least remotely like the game. Although I have to admit, it's not necessarily something that will wake me up in the morning. Like, I don't crave to play this game most days. I kind of like to use the example with my cello. Yeah, I play the cello. Basically, what I have to do is I have to take it out, set it up, in this case, wait for the map to load. And once I'm over that hump, I have the best time of my life. Like, I have a really great experience. But again, I really have no idea if this really applies to anyone else out there, any of my fans. Oh wait, what fans? But anyway, this game should generally remind you of Counter-Strike, or at least my basic understanding of Counter-Strike. But even though this game really is a truly great thing, the fact that it plays in the browser and the fact that it's completely free does give it some limitations. Those limitations, however, have nothing to do with the graphics. I mean, this game is beautiful. What's funny is I can actually record this flawlessly with my amateur and mediocre recording software. You've seen some of my source gameplay. It's not really good at all. And yet when I try to run it through Windows Movie Maker, it lags horribly halfway throughout. And anyway, the way this game plays out is you've got your two teams, squad and... no, that's not squad, it's SWAT and militia. You don't have free-for-all, willy-nilly shoot anyone in the face game mode, although interestingly enough, they have had a recent update in which a new game mode was added in some of the select maps, is an arming and disarming bomb game mode. And that's always fun. Well, anyway, you have 8 maps to choose from. Several of those are just variations of the same map, but they're all still worth playing. And you have 5 guns to choose from. You've got the MP5, which is the one you start out with, the M1014, M4A1, M4A1 with the scope, and M249 SAW or SAW. You realize I'm just reading these off from a piece of paper. I have no idea what these guns are really like. Okay, let me rephrase. I know exactly what these guns are like, and I know exactly how they feel. I just know nothing about their classification or nomenclature is all. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to start describing the guns from least powerful or least expensive to most expensive. And I'll make a note now that the weapons, they're really not that pricey. The most expensive weapon is $3,000, but you get $1,000 just for joining a game. The game, by the way, is 10 matches, just so you know. So yeah, you can stock up on your money, especially if you're having a kill streak, and buy anything that your heart can process. Starting up is the MP5, the default weapon. And I probably should have set up my footage so that I'd be carrying the MP5 in my hands while I was going along, but you know what, it's too late now. So what I have to say about this gun is that it really does get the job done, and for a default weapon it is pretty powerful. It takes a fair amount of bullets to kill a person, and actually if you're like me and a pretty lousy gamer, I often forget that there are more weapons at my disposal, and I just keep using that gun for, I don't know, 5 matches until I realize I have $5,000 already piled up in my bank. So that's a pretty good weapon. Moving on to the M1014, it's a mouthful. It's basically the shotgun. Now I know you love it when I say that I love the shotgun, but unfortunately in a game like BeGone, I don't really care for the shotgun much at all. I'm sorry, but there's something, it's weird. There's something about this game that makes the shotgun seem really unappealing. Even if you haven't used it, just looking at it, it's just like, oh my god, how am I gonna use this game? What's even weirder is that these maps, they basically, like a map like Warehouse and Courtyard, like you'll see, it concentrates all the players into one big space. And that's like a shotgun lover's dream right there. Being able to blow bullets in holes that of people that you don't even know. I don't know why. If you can even describe remotely this phenomenon about why the shotgun looks so impractical in this game, please feel free to tell me, because I'd love to know. Next weapon is the M4A1 bracket CCO bracket. I'd say it's my favorite gun. It's the gun that I'm carrying right now, by the way. But I can't really list any specific details about why I love it so much. The most I can say is that it just seems really balanced. It still takes a fair amount of time to kill a person, but it's really effective. I don't know what it is about it. I just really like it. Next up is the M4A1 bracket scope bracket. Yeah, the only difference between this and the original M4A1 is that it has a very big scope attached to it. And I gotta say, I really don't know what they're trying to get away with here. See, the thing with the scope is that it takes up like half the screen, and I don't think you really even zoom into it. I think what happens is the scope on the right displays what you've got inside it, and you can see exactly what you're looking at the moment through that scope. But the weird thing about that is just it doesn't really become very useful, because in order to get a very precision aim, you basically just have to concentrate on the right side of your screen, and that just throws me off completely. I don't know. Again, if you want to clear anything up here, go ahead and just tell me about it in the comments, because it's a very weird thing here. And finally is the M249 SAW. SAW, SAW, I don't know. Anyway, this is the most expensive gun, $3,000, and it's a very thick and bulky gun. And I'm thinking, when I first purchased it for $3,000, and I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be like a really overpowering gun. I don't really see why nobody is using this as often, since it's not even that expensive. But then it came to me immediately when I first used it. It's really not. It's actually not as threatening as it looks at all. Probably takes the same amount of bullets to kill it as any of the other guns, except the shotgun, of course. Oh man. But anyway, it's still a good gun. Please use it. Like, subscribe, comment. That's all I have time for. I'll see you guys later.
If you don't subscribe to this guy's channel, and you don't subscribe to us, and you don't watch the previous video, then you're a pussy. But really, do all those things and we'll be very happy campers. Other than that, keep submitting your stuff to keep the channel running. Later.